Our major interest is in trying to understand how do craniofacial defects arise. Our hope is that by understanding how they arise, we can someday alleviate that, stop it before it even forms. What we're trying to do is add to that repertoire of expertise in the state by adding to that knowledge of how the face forms, how then treatments could be improved so that we have better outcomes for kids. So my name's Quenten Schwarz and I work at the Centre for Cancer Biology. I run the Neurovascular Research Laboratory, and our aim is to try and understand the fundamentals of how the cells that give rise to the face and the cranium, how they form, how they get to where they should be, how they then mature into cartilage and bone, which is what the structures of the face are. So going back to what we do in the lab is trying to understand how development of the face forms during embryogenesis. And what we try to understand is how the cells mature in such a way that they can give rise to the structures of the face. That could be the jaw, it can be the skull as well. When craniofacial disorders arise, it comes about due to a fault or a problem during that normal developmental process. So in this case, the way that the bone cells form, they mature and they come together. Our understanding from the current project will have impacts across craniosynostosis, cleft lip and palate, and also to more syndromic type of cases. Our work strives to understand how the bones and cartilage form in the first place, and then try and come up with ways of changing how the bone and cartilage forms so that that could lead to new therapies. If you know how to put a car together, you pretty much know how to fix it. All right, so the idea is that if we understand how you put all of these elements together, then it will be easier for us to understand how it goes wrong. And then by understanding those things together, we can come up ways of stopping or fixing it. I'm very, very grateful of the support that I've had from Craniofacial Australia. This is the second grant that we've had from Craniofacial Australia over the last 3 or 4 years. And that funding has allowed us to undertake pilot studies. And what's been really great about that is those pilot studies, along with input from Professor David, have allowed us to then use the pilot studies and background data to apply for larger funding in the sense of time, but also the amount of funding. At the end of last year, we're really fortunate to get National Health and Medical Research Council funding, which is now going to allow us to continue with the work that Craniofacial Australia has funded for the next 4 years. Katie Marchant from my team is championing all of the work at the moment in the lab around the current work that's funded via Craniofacial Australia. And she's leading projects where she's looking at how cartilage cells are able to survive. And we use a lot of models for this type of research. In this case, we're looking at cells in a dish. And so what Kaylee is looking at on the screen, separate cartilage cells that we can then manipulate in different ways to understand how they make more cells or how they survive. And what Kaylee is able to do with these is add different factors to the cells to make them turn into cartilage, but also to turn into bone, but also under stress how they die. And that's one of the projects which we're currently working with Craniofacial Australia on. Our vision in the lab is that we work together with the families and the clinicians to try and get better outcomes. We're not going to do that overnight, and it's really important that we just keep striving together. What really excites me is that we're at the cutting edge of it. On a day-to-day basis, we're finding out new things that no one else in the world knows. If we can come up with better ways of treating and better outcomes for patients, that's our why. We want to be able to stop it in the first place and make the outcomes better.